Back on the front end there, you know, a lot of guys struggle to kind of test webinars. You know, it's a lot of money to kind of test and get a statistically relevant, you know, quantity of sales within a budget that's affordable for guys that are launching webinars. Could you maybe take us through like some of the strategy that you are using for testing webinars, some of the metrics that are important to you, like some of the maybe rules that you guys use in terms of determining what's working versus not working?
Sure. I mean, you're absolutely right. This is something that's very tough, and we're sort of in a fortunate position that we're making so much from one offer that we can white knuckle it through with the next one. If we lose a bit, we've made it, right? But it is tough because the only metric that matters, there is only one metric that matters, and that is, you know, ROI. How much are you spending? How much are you making back? And I'll give you an example of this, because I know an answer that you might expect to hear, and a lot of people will expect to hear, is, I want to make sure the leads are coming in cheap. Yeah. That's not the case at all. Like the lead cost is almost irrelevant. I was doing this exercise the other day, and I was having a look at our top and second top performing campaign. And one of them, the leads were coming in at like $80, and the other one, the leads were coming in at $20.
Wow.
So like there was a 4x difference, and they were our top and second top. And what you typically find is that with Facebook's just very good at knowing the value of people. And the more expensive the lead, the better the lead, typically. In fact, for us, it's often the case that the more expensive the lead, the better the ROI. Now, within reason, right? Like sometimes your lead's expensive because you've got a crap ad that's not hit, and that's never going to work. But if I've got the same ad running to two campaigns to different audiences, and one of those audiences is more expensive and it's the same ad, typically, or very, very often, I won't say always, but very often, the one that's more expensive will give me a better ROI. So this is why it is very, very difficult, because if you're just optimizing to lead costs, which I've done in the past before, right, where you're trying to get as cheap a lead as you can, you might be getting crappier traffic. And here's an example. So our typical leads are about $70 Australian, call it $40, $50 American, US. And we were getting these English leads from the UK for $8. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And we're spending all this money and not getting any sales. We could not make this thing work. And we're trying all these different things, couldn't make it work. We ended up just switched it off. And a few weeks later, we're like, I will turn UK leads back on. Same ads, turned it back on. The leads were costing us like $30 and they were profitable. Couldn't make them work at $8. So that was a long tangent just to say don't look at lead cost. I realize. I guess a couple of things that I am looking for is click-through rates. So I really want to see a bare minimum of 1%, preferably a little bit higher on my click-through rates. So because the click-through rate's going to tell you if your ad's hitting or not, right? If no one's clicking on your ad, no one has any interest in that particular hook, maybe you want to tweak your hook a little bit. I'm looking for show rates as well. That's typically a good indicator of the quality of your traffic. So if you're paying a high cost per lead and you've got a poor show rate, then it indicates that your high cost per lead might be because of your poor creative instead of because you've got good traffic. Does that make sense? So I said the cost per lead doesn't matter, and it doesn't.
It doesn't matter until it matters.
That's right? It's not that it doesn't matter. It's that a high cost per lead is not necessarily a bad thing. Let's say that, right? But if you've got a high cost per lead in conjunction with a low show rate, then that's a bad thing, because the high cost per lead, because the low show rate shows me that I don't have quality traffic. So my high cost per lead is probably not because of the quality traffic, and therefore it's probably because of my creative. Is that making sense?
Absolutely, yeah.
I can't even remember the original question. Did I answer
it? So from that point forward, you've let's say you've got an ad. It's got a higher than a 1% click through rate. You're getting leads at a good cost. People are turning up for the webinar. So if you enjoyed this clip and you'd like to benefit from more monetization secrets, go and register now for Monetization Daily. You can go to monetizationresearch.com to get it. It is a free newsletter that is absolutely awesome. It is delivered to your email inbox and it contains lots of great monetization tips, tactics, and strategies that you will love. Again, head on over to monetizationresearch.com to get it now.